Hello everybody! We are into the second game of this ESPL Weekly Series Finals. I am, of course, Briefcase bringing you this game, along with my co-caster Mito and Cede.Nullis, taking that first game, fairly commandingly near the end there as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Cede.Nullis, I thought they were behind when the draft ended, but I don't know. I don't know why they put the Storm Spirit in the safe lane. Trial lane. Perhaps they should have switched things up a little bit and put the Viper in the trial lane. Sure, Storm doesn't do all that well against a Crosswex Invoker, but I still feel they had a much better chance if they started off the lanes like that. And if they weren't so behind during the laning phase, I felt like their lineup has the edge when it comes to pickoffs and fights.
Oh yeah, and Cede.Nullis now not wanting to give up that Invoker that they obviously played so amazingly last game. Arise just absolutely on point with it, and like it's so close that I want to give him the MVP award, but overall I just got to give it to Freezer. That Disruptor made things happen that entire game. Throughout basically every single phase, he was just finding glimpses left, right, and center, big static storms, and just really making gigantic plays all day long.
He just plays that hero out of the world, man. I'd be surprised if SNA+4 don't ban out Disruptor or steal it for themselves. Man, that was crazy.
Oh yeah, and I'm just not seeing SNA+4. It's still just banning out kind of some standard heroes. It looks like banning out the Doom, banning out the Lycan. They have picked up the AA themselves. I was wondering which one of those supports they would pick up. Obviously, probably thinking that and seeing just how strong they can be, and obviously they know AA is very strong. They've played, I think they even played AA earlier today, but now with AA under SNA's belt, who do you think Cede.Nullis is really going to pick up? You can't go for any of those healing heroes. It basically shuts down a whole branch of supports, all the healing ones like Omni, like Shadow Priest. It can really put a huge crimp into them as far as just if they would see play. So because of that, or Chen as well, really just screws him over entirely. So what do you think Cede.Nullis might be pulling out? Do you think we'll see just some more standard and nice picks and bans in this game as well?
I think, okay, there we go.
What?
Okay, that's the answer. I don't need to think. There you go. So it's gonna be a Dazzle and a Bat Rider. I was kind of thinking like, but Bat Rider, this hero, man, this hero has definitely made a comeback. It's saying, hey, I deserve to be competitive, and it truly does. Sure, with the nerfs, before it was just too OP, but now it's like the perfect balance. They can say you're not too OP during the laning phase, you get a couple of stacks, then you're good. And like you don't have insane lasso range, so you can just blink in anywhere and just pull someone out of the blue. Now it's like you need to precisely know exactly where you're gonna blink to in order to bring someone along with you. I love it. Dazzle.
Go ahead.
Dazzle will keep you alive for that few extra seconds against the Ancient Apparition. But I think we might be seeing a Slaughter once again. And SNA+4, SNA+4, they're like, nah, we're not gonna give you the Slaughter. In fact, they thought what I was gonna think. Have Dazzle plus Slaughter. This is just so much minus armor or plus armor. Either way, it allows you to play extremely aggressively, so this is a good block pick from SNA+4.
But they have their two bans. It seems slightly unnecessary, and now SNA+4, they actually ban out the Chen of all things, despite having the Ancient Apparition. It looks like Cede.Nullis. I was mentioning how Ancient Apparition shuts down a bunch of healers, and they just don't even seem to care. Obviously, Dazzle's more than a heal, but to actually use a ban on a Chen, I don't know how I feel about that, really. I don't know.
Chen, I felt that was a little odd as well, but perhaps they're removing all possibility of an early game push. Because Chen is not all about the heal. Essentially, it's about how you weave through the map, doing right from the get-go. Grab your creeps, you'll be farming the jungle, you come out of the jungle and gank, and no one's gonna see that gank coming because you're gonna be smoked up, and since you're missing the whole time, it's very, very hard to call this miss. So perhaps that's what they had in mind, and Chen is just not a hero they want to deal with.
Yeah, I suppose so, and that's really what I can see coming out of some of these bans, is taking out some of the very strong pushers right now. Obviously, Lycan part of that, Chen as well, almost the king of push, if you will. At least helping out his teammates push at the very least, but I don't know, just look at Cede.Nullis, they don't seem to really care that AA has been picked up. They can just kind of do whatever they want, and it just goes to show you, it almost feels like Cede.Nullis doesn't care at all what SNA+4 picks up, because I mean, obviously Lifestealer couples with Batrider really nicely, but Slardar, he deals with Lifestealer himself quite well. And Ancient Apparition stops Lifestealer's heal. Ancient Apparition stops Dazzle. Cede.Nullis just doesn't seem to care.
Cede.Nullis, they're looking to play aggressive. And yes, you're saying Slardar does well against Lifestealer, but don't forget there's a Shadow Priest right behind the Lifestealer. You can minus his armor, but he's going to get a lot more from the Shadow Priest. And now we're probably going to see either a Puck or a Storm Spirit being picked up by Cede.Nullis. Their lineup is looking to go on the aggression. It's not a lineup where, say, we're going to farm up for 30 minutes and then we're going to come out and end it. It's saying, hey, we're going to go hard or go home.
And this Clockwork pickup, I mean, what do you think about that? Obviously, he's quite good at getting in there, throwing down those cogs, and if he can find a Dazzle, it's going to work out really nicely for him, but still, though, like as we've seen in the past, if Dazzle doesn't get silenced or targeted, he just has so much of an impact in every single team fight that it really does seem to be like he's one of those supports or cores, if you run him that way, that really does need a lot of time and effort dedicated to him. And I guess Clockwork can do that. Clockwork always seems to fall short in my eyes whenever he's up against a Lifestealer, though. Like maybe you get Lifestealer in the cogs with you, and that's almost exactly what he wants.
Depends when he gets a Force Staff. If you cog in the Lifestealer, you Force Staff yourself out, he's stuck inside during the team fight. It's pretty awesome, I would say. But yeah, well, they got the Clockwork to have the easy setup for the Ancient Apparition ultimate. That's what I see so far, but I don't know what's to follow. I have no idea what either team. Oh, there we go. There's a Disruptor once again. So wherever you hook, whoever you blink on is just gonna go right back. Or if you try to blink away or hook away, you're just gonna come right back.
Oh, exactly. And not only that, I mean, Disruptor, if they do decide to say Clockwork blinks or hooks on or what have you, and they go, okay, we're taking this engagement, and Disruptor decides, yes, we are. That's going to be a kinetic field static storm on just that large grouping of people that's obviously trying to make something happen. And so just the amount of, one, anti-initiation, and two, counter-initiation that Disruptor brings to the table, if it goes to Freezer once again, I think we're going to be just seeing some massive plays come out of this Disruptor again, and I could not be happier.
And I don't know why SNA+4 let that hero out. It just mind-boggling.
Oh, it crushed them last game.
They had 2 picks. Yeah, like, why would you ban a Chen when you can ban a Disruptor? I know that sounds really weird, but in this case, that's what I have to say. I have to question the motives. Like, why else would you do this?
Oh yeah, and I mean, I'm just thinking of synergy now for Cede.Nullis and especially the Disruptor pickup is you just throw down Disruptor, and as long as you get a kinetic field down basically in the wake of where Batrider is taking a target, he can't have his friends really come in and help him, or if he does, they're going to get stuck there, they're going to get static stormed, they're going to be in a huge heap of trouble. And now it looks like SNA+4 seeing just how strong some of these heroes are, obviously, once again, and picking up the AA that Cede.Nullis has, picking up the Weaver that Cede.Nullis has, and I think Weaver, overall, a good pickup. Won't be able to find those solo kills on supports that you usually see one have, because Disruptor will just glimpse them back, and actually does suffer quite heavily to a Disruptor ult. But still does have the damage to take out a Disruptor, possibly a Dazzle as well, if he does get rolling, obviously.
Don't you feel like it seems like every time they lose to a team, they like to take some of the heroes from the opponent's lineup? When they lost to for Love previous games to the Tiny, they picked up the Tiny, and here they have the Ancient Apparition and the Weaver.
Yeah, it certainly seems to be their MO a little bit. They definitely like to run that as well. And a nice ban, I think, coming out of SNA+4. They ban out the the Storm Spirit right there, and I think a necessary ban out pretty much entirely as well to make sure that one, Weaver doesn't get picked off all the time, and that Ancient Apparition can actually survive in a team fight maybe. But you just got to be so worried about Lifestealer bombs coming into that Batrider, and I'm not sure what Cede.Nullis really needs now. They can run Dazzle as a main, or they could pick up a separate main right now, right here.
They can have so many mid solo. They can have Dragon Knight, they can have
5 seconds remaining.
Pusher, they can have Silence. Okay, they go for the Magnetar. Oh,
Dude, they're going all in on that team
Cede.Nullis.
fight.
Oh man, and there's no way to dodge these ultis. RP, go through BKB, Batrider, Lasso, go through BKB. You have Lincoln's, sure. There are too many single target spells. So, but the only downside is it's a 4 protect 1. Means if you're behind and Slaughter and Weaver gets farm, it gets harder and harder progressively as the game goes on.
Oh yeah, it's still, but that's the thing though as well, is it's, even though it is 4 protect 1, Cede.Nullis has at least 2, maybe 3, 2.5, I'm including Batrider's Lasso there, 2.5 ults that if you combo them well and you get 3+ heroes in it, that team fight is completely flipped on its head, and even if you are behind by 10k gold, 15k gold, you can still turn it around, turn it into towers, turn it into lanes of racks, just with a mag. Like if you get a big mag, or a big reverse polarity into Static Storm, you are just winning that team fight.
Oh, this is very peculiar. So is it? I think yeah, it is gonna be a mid solo Slaughter, and a carry Weaver and offlane Bounty Hunter. At the Slaughter, I was thinking, what position is that gonna be? Is it gonna be offlane Weaver carry Slaughter? But no, they rotate around. But for now, the pick of power is very strong, but I don't think they have what it takes to fight against Cede.Nullis' lineup. Cede.Nullis, their lineup just feels a lot more complete. They have the stuns, they have lockdowns, they have early game, mid game, late game. Whereas SNA+4, it's like, we can gank, we can do amazing ganks. But how are we going to defend against Tower Push? Are you solely relying on the Ice Blast and the Rocket? And of course, you still have the bugs, but I don't think it's quite enough. What happens when TCM push?
Yeah, no,
That's what I have to ask.
I think it's going to be a little bit difficult, and I'm actually a little bit worried for Whitebeard, the Bounty Hunter. He isn't going to be off lane, he's going to have this Boots of Speed, and make his life a little bit easier, obviously, but if it's the tri-lane that I think it's going to be, which would be Disruptor actually going the way of the bot lane, or actually, look, is this going to be a dual lane going each way? I'm not too sure. I thought it was going to be Disruptor, Shadow Priest, and Leon, but it doesn't look exactly like that's how it's going to be panning out. I guess we'll see, though. Freezer might just be going around placing wards, and that seems to be just how it pans out. We'll see how it goes, but I'd be really worried if I was Whitebeard. But talked a lot about this. Let's talk to who is actually who. Whitebeard's going to be this Bounty Hunter, SNA as the Ancient Apparition, KVH as the Carry Weaver, Ush as that mid Slardar. Wonder how he's gonna do. IX Mike is the Clockwork once again. Over here on TCN, we're gonna have Zissou as the Dazzle, Leon playing as that Lifestealer, Arise as the mid solo Magnus, getting cooled nicely there, obviously. Freezer as the Disruptor once again, gonna be watching out for him, and W33 as the Batrider in this top lane. So still not too sure where Freezer's gonna go. But I was going to be a little bit more worried about Whitebeard, maybe not so much anymore.
Regeneration.
I actually think Frieza is going to be letting the Batrider just get most of the lane XP, and then he would do the stacking in the jungle. And when the time is right, Batrider has enough levels, Batrider will just go rotate in the jungle, and while Frieza will take up the lane XP. And it looks like immediately Whitebeard is going to stay at mid and do a couple of pokes on Arise. Help Slaughter get a better start.
Oh yeah, certainly seems that way. Who do you think has a better lane in this way? Obviously, both of these heroes quite capable at harassing one another. Arise has that Bottle Crow, Skewer, what have you. Oh yeah, there's quite a few stacks on IX Mike though. Not too sure if it's quite enough, and with only level 1 on this Batrider, it's not going to be a kill, but that is a lot of stacks going the way of W33 onto IX Mike. 6 now, he just can't get out of range fast enough.
Down at bot, it seems like it's fairly even as well. Both carries are just able to get the last hits. But Zissou is throwing out quite a bit of harassment damage there. I'm actually pretty surprised. I always thought Weaver and AA would be able to do more damage, you know, more right click here and there.
Well, it's also just that they go in, they have Chilling Touch, they try and make something happen, and then they need to dive really hard to make that happen and get a kill, and if Shallow Grave is there to prevent that, it's going to be very difficult. Now it looks like that's exactly what's going to be happening, and he actually didn't skill up into Shallow Grave. It looks like KVH going to take his Zissou quite easily. He just needs to heal himself, does indeed get it, and Leon trying to do his best but couldn't quite find it. As that's happening, so sorry, but it looks like IX Mike getting caught out and actually falls to Freezer and W33 in this top lane.
There's no way anyone can survive up against a Disruptor at level 1. It's just too rough. They needed someone who can like win range or something. Just go do Ancients or Orthodoxia.
Oh, Leon and Zissou on to SNA. Looks like he is indeed going to fall. Ooh, the cold feet can't quite land, and now it looks like KVH trying to look for him. Zissou, he just needs to get out of here in as fast a time as he possibly can. Looks like KVH wants to get him. There's the Shallow Grave. Gonna stall, at the very least get himself some time. He wants to get killed by these creeps, and it doesn't quite go that way. KVH just timing that attack ever too well. And Ush actually rotating around there as well, just seeing if he couldn't maybe help out, but didn't need to be by any means. Now, obviously on the top lane, IX Mike, he just seems to be in such a heap of trouble all the time.
Mid.
Doesn't quite guess correctly with that. Ever so sad to be him. Oh, that would have been just lovely for him, I'm sure.
Yeah, he skewered the Bounty Hunter directly under the tower, but it was so close. Sad thing his Shockwave was on cooldown.
And on this top lane, I mean, Freezer playing support like a champ. He's just denying all these pulls coming out of IX Mike to this hard camp, obviously right there. He's just doing his job. He's finding the pulls. He's getting the last hits and the experience. He's doing quite nicely for himself there. And beyond that, I mean, it just looks like everybody doing quite nicely overall everywhere for Cede.Nullis. And, I mean, for SNA as well, going tit for tat in most lanes. Cede.Nullis with slightly more. Now looks like we have a rotation though coming out. Bounty Hunter trying to set something up onto Leon. Not too sure if they really have the damage to take him out entirely, but with no sentry down, he just needs to be so careful. And as long as he gets a little bit ballsy, there it is. It's the Chilling Touch, and that's going to be what's able to polish him off. Chilling Touch obviously still able to go down. Eats a tree, now fighting Whitebeard, but of course Chilling Touch doing quite a bit of work. Whitebeard pretty much stuck dead in this tower. No, eats some trees, is able to get out of there in time. It just looks like, well, that's happening. Clockwork, once again, IX Mike, falling prey to the Disruptor and that glimpse. You just cannot get away from that thing fast enough.
Oh man. The big plays coming around. I was very confused as to what the Bounty Hunter is doing. But he did secure his team a kill, so that was very good. But he's still only just level 2, almost level 3. I'm confused. He's constantly just roaming and roaming. But his efficiency, apart from that 1 kill, hasn't exactly been there. He pokes Arise, but Arise doesn't really care. He has 5 armor, and if he's ever in trouble, he can always skewer away. Ush has to be scared. Oh, Ush actually has a level lead, surprisingly.
But as soon as this creep is dead, boom, that's the reverse polarity. And now Magnus is just one of those heroes that you can almost never find. As that's happening, it looks like Leon giving up an easy kill to IX Mike. A question mark coming out of there. Looked like, I mean, I didn't see it, but things not going too well, and a little cheekiness coming out, I have to say. Arise, he's just got to do whatever he wants, and now it looks like both of these teams trying to set something up. Skewer back. Oh, Ush is in a heap of trouble. The tower doing what it can, but Arise right on top, and of course, Whitebeard just cannot follow up. The glimpse! Oh my god, you can never discount it. Looks like the sentry does go down. They just do not have the skills right now to actually polish off that Bounty Hunter, but that glimpse, just always so terrifying when you see that you've been hit by it and you're flying all the way back. Oh, nothing makes your heart pound more, really.
Wow, that's why you don't mess with the Disruptor. It's too good. If he dropped the sentry earlier, they might have just have enough damage get that kill, and now he's rotating top.
Oh,
and there's no way Ike's
no.
Mike can run.
No, he's definitely doomed. There's a glimpse available. There's a kinetic field. Leon right in the cogs with him, and he just hit six, but doesn't have a target for that hook shot. Might have gone a little bit differently, but couldn't quite do it. Zissou, he's trying his very best to stay within EXP range, but he basically just needs to back off at tower. KVH, along with Chilling Touch, just does way too much damage. He can always shallow grave himself, obviously, back underneath tower, but I just don't think that's a risk he's willing to take right now.
So, right now, seems like, yeah, they're doing really well during the laning phase once again. This might sound a little surprising, but so far, they really do feel like a team, you know? Like, when they played earlier, it just feels like they didn't have the cohesion, but in this game, things are really piecing together so far. The rotations has been really stellar, and like Frieza, man, this guy so far, his rotations have been spot on.
Oh,
Once again, so Whitebeard goes with his roaming.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
Yeah, Whitebeard, he's just been moving around all game, almost a little too frantic it seems like, not quite sure where to go. Obviously the negative armor coming out of Slardar on a rise, gonna make Janata and basically gonna make Janata as well as Shadowwalk hit like a truck, but he just doesn't seem to really care. If things get a little bit out of hand, he's got Skewer, he can always reverse polarity, and now it just looks like Whitebeard trying his best to find this courier, but of course wisely using Speed Burst, and it looks like he might actually just camp in the mid here, wait for it to return, because he knows it's got a bottle.
Whoever's down at bottom is in a lot of danger. There's currently 4 +4 players right there, waiting for them.
W33
Bat
might
Rider
be in
already
some
has a
danger
blink
himself. Gets a Bat Rider, has the blink, pulls IX Mike up here. He always does, though, have a hook shot.
Hook.
Misses it, though. He is
Oh,
stuck
no.
on here for so long right now. And now Zissou, all he can do is just have fun. Looks like Magnus
my
getting up
goodness.
there. Big RP actually brings up the Slaughter. What can he do? But a KVH actually just dominating everybody. He's got so much damage now. Shallow Grave once again being used maybe a bit too quickly. Nice little shockwave lands on him. Isn't able to do too much, but of course Slaughter and Clockwork able to be polished off by Freezer, and this is exactly what you want to see. You just want a man fight within your own Static Storm. In runs Arise with a big shockwave. Whitebeard, he's got 7 seconds, 8 seconds, 6 seconds, 5. Can't quite get invisible in time, and with that, Cede.Nullis gonna be getting 5 kills, a whole team wipe. All they gave up was a disruptor. Not too bad.
Oh my goodness. Oh, that was incredible. First, you pull IX Mike on top, and then second, you skewer everyone else on top. Wow, that was amazing. Great plays on TCN, like mind-blowing plays. I love it so much. Oh god.
That's the kind of thing you see in a pub. I'm gonna take them to the high ground. I'm gonna make it so they can't get off and that they can't do anything. And then it's just them doing that right there. It's just so enjoyable to watch for me, I have to say.
Yeah, not only that, the Static Storm, like, these are just manned up.
Oh,
Stick
IX
there.
Mike can't quite find the hook on Leon. He does have Infest available, but now with the bugs on him and KVH chasing him down, going to be a little bit difficult. Infests right away. Actually pops out of there now with the Rage. Zissou getting in there in time. Can always shallow grave him, and this is going to be turned right around on its head. There's the shallow grave. Perfect timing, however. IX Mike, though, with that battery assault, Leon needs to be so careful. He will fall to KVH, however, and now Zissou needs to get out of here right away. As that's happening, it looks like Bounty Hunter actually falling to the Disruptor Bat combo once again. Zissou, not too sure why he's not spamming Shadow Wave on himself, but now there's the Invis,
Oh my
along with a Rise skewering in with an RP. Boom, out of nowhere, and takes down KVH. So just playing terrifically. He did, Zissou, very nice stalling tactics, I have to say, as well.
Radiant's bottom tower.
Yeah,
is under
absolutely. That
attack.
sentry placement and the Magnetar Skewer was spot on. Oh my god. Now they have double blink initiation, and this is once again becoming very, very scary for SNA+4. And they have the Lifestealer Bomb. Once that's off cooldown, you're just gonna see
Oh, SNA
You
caught
think-
in a little bit of trouble. He's just getting burnt. He doesn't even have lasso. He's just blinking in, being a little bit annoying. Has flame break. As long as he's got more firefly, he should be able to get away from this no matter what. Actually uses up that dust just to find him, and he's just continually burning him. Now KVH on him. No more firefly for him, and getting stunned. Little bit of an overextension, however. There is that shallow grave, and he's able to get out of there with it. Not quite, actually. Never mind. Obviously, you are not going to die when you have that on, but you're definitely not going to not get stunned.
Dire's middle tower
Oh
is
wow,
under
so
attack.
that was pretty big for SNA+4. They got a couple of track kills. That should bring them nicely back in the game, as well as the Bat Rider was on a streak as well. I forgot. I think 6 in a row or something like that. So that would be a pretty nice goal. Let's see. It was an unstoppable streak for 790 gold for the Clockwork.
Radiant's top
The Clockworks
tower is under attack.
has enough mana for either Arcane Boots, Phase Boots, or Staff of Wizardry for that 4 staff, or even Blade Mail components for it. Everyone wants
Oh,
the
now it
Legion
looks like a
to
rise a little bit
rise
too
with the
far
first.
forward, but just skewering away, trying to get away as best he can. Shuriken to finish him off, though. Has a regen, doesn't seem to matter. He's just trying to wait around, maybe get as much damage as possible. Whitebeard quite low, but with AA on the side of SNA. No weird little kills going in. And the GG right away. It looks like they just don't want to play this out. Not too sure, but nonetheless, I guess there it is. And
Dire victory.
I guess TCN's your champions.
That was very bizarre.
Yeah. Kinda don't know what to say. A little speechless there, everybody. Mito, you got any opinions? I think IX Mike, they have some place to be, maybe?
I actually have 4 words, but I'm not gonna say them. Yeah, I'll keep it private.
Keep it private? Alright, sounds good. Well, nonetheless, thank you all for tuning in to that ESPL Weekly Series final between SNA+4, also known as Wild Witch Doctors, against Cede.Nullis. A little bit of an odd ending, but Cede.Nullis with some nice crisp play. SNA+4 always seeming to be ever so slightly behind, just couldn't quite find their farm or levels in this game, and only ever so slightly behind Cede.Nullis in the last. Nonetheless, Cede.Nullis are your ESPL Weekly Series 7 champions.